All right, all right, all right. Hey, what's up? We're back at it. I just did an interview with Dominique Alexander, and there was a lot of people who wanted to speak about this Carmelo Anthony case, and I wanted to open up the floor for all of you. Now, I know that my audience is predominantly African American, but I understand that there has been a lot of people who are of other races who have been tuning in as well. Now, I'm not going to hold you. Collin County put a sour taste in my mouth, but I want to hear from everybody. Okay. Like, I promise I'm in good spirits. I'm back home in California. The energy is good here. So I'm just in a space to where I want to hear from everybody. So click the link. What are your thoughts? And let's discuss this. Okay. We're gonna take Sky Life, but anybody who's on camera will get priority. Sky Life, what's your thoughts?
Hey, Nika, you pulled me up kind of quick.
We
I
gotta get
was
to it. Let's go. Let's
okay.
go.
I really want to say that I'm proud of you for what you did. I'm
Thank
sorry you
you.
experienced that, and that everybody couldn't have done that. So I really salute you for going back and following this process through. One of the main things that stuck out to me is that was just weird to me is that people are just saying anything to make to try and make it a point. So in regards to people are trying to say, well, Carmelo shouldn't have had a knife, but Texas is an open carry state. So I'm like, why are people trying to act like everybody out there probably didn't have some type of weapon or some type of, you know, firearm in their possession or some, it's just like they try to make that so profound, and I don't even see that as being a point. The other thing that kind of bothered me was I don't know, I might need you to come back to me. Can you come back to
Okay.
me? Okay.
Yeah, I'll come back. All right,
Okay.
Sugar Love. What's your thoughts?
Hey Nick, thank you for allowing me up. Here we go way back from the nature boy thing. But before I speak upon it, I wanted to know, did they ever explain how did he stab him if he was sitting down?
Well, most of the kids said that they did not see the stabbing.
It,
So most of the kids said, well, they were sitting down and they saw Austin push him, but the next thing that they saw was Austin saying that he was stabbed. Majority of them didn't see the stab. And then the boy that did see the stab, he said that it was in an upward motion. So he said that as Austin pushed Carmelo, Carmelo kind of boop, like did like a under upper cut or however you call it.
I
So
say that
yeah,
because it's impossible he ran into that knife. Because if he's still in a sitting down motion, that would be self defense because that would mean you're lunging after me. Now they never said he stood up and stabbed him. He sat down. So if I'm sitting down, you have to be coming closer to me to strike me for you to even be. I just believe he ran into. I think he pulled it out, but the boy ran into the knife because how would you get stabbed if I'm still sitting down unless you're coming to get me? If you
right,
understand what I'm
right.
saying. So
Yeah,
that
he
was
was sitting down the whole time. My guess is that when he pushed, as he pushed Carmelo back, Carmelo, stuck him real quick.
no. He had to been going into Carmelo, not push back to be
If
for
somebody
that little
pushes
knife.
you, if
Mhm.
somebody comes and pushes me, I'm gonna go back. So as he's going back, his hand is going up.
But did they express that?
They had a kid demonstrate the motion.
But that was still it would still state that you're lunging at me for you to even be stuck. It's not like you push me. They made it appear like after the push, Carmelo just stuck him. That was basically going on at the same time. Then
No, each kid said that it happened so quick they didn't even see it. So every single, even the ones that didn't, that said that they didn't see it, all the kids said it happened so fast to where it was like at the same time, like to where it was so quick they didn't even realize it happened. They seen him get pushed, and then Austin was stabbed. Like it was simultaneous, like it was a, at the same time type of motion. Like that's how it happened. It didn't happen like he pushed him and then Karmelo came back and then he waited and then he stabbed him. No, it was at the same time.
That's the point that I'm getting to. If it was at the same time, you're launching me to push me, and then you got stuck.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's not. It's not how that's not wasn't brought up on there. Why didn't his lawyer express that?
I think I'm not sure what you mean. Like, what
if Karmelo got up, it would be different. But Karmelo was still sitting down. So if he's still sitting down, he has no intention on cutting him or stabbing him. There's no intent there. I'm still sitting down.
So you think that you can't stab somebody because you're sitting down?
No,
I'm confused about what you're saying.
They saying it was basically talking about his intent. So they say he intended to use the knife. He did not intend to use the knife if he's still sitting down. So you would have to be coming to me.
Well, they were saying that they were saying he provoked him and he goaded him into it. So what they were saying was him simply bringing a knife, period. He was like goading them and provoking them into it, like walking them into it.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know, how that was stated. Thank you so much, Nick.
All right. Thank you. All right. We're going to go to the D beautiful one. Hello.
Hi.
What's your thought or question?
So I just have a question. So he said that they paid for the experts, right?
Yeah, I gotta grab my charger, but keep talking.
Yeah, before the trial. So who did the money for the experts go to? The attorney, and the attorney pays for the experts, or did the money go directly to the experts?
If we get the family on the line or the attorney on the line, I guess that's a question that we're gonna have to ask them.
Yes, please ask them that question, because some people are saying that this might have been like a money grab, but if I don't care how many thousands of dollars they may have paid that attorney, he did not do his job for the money. So, but thank you so much, Nick, for standing in there. You were awesome.
Thank you.
I prayed for you. I cried with you. Like, I had to take off today. It was just everything you went through. It just brought back so many memories of living in the South, and some people don't understand how real racism is. Like,
no, I got my Negro wake up call, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. So love you, Nick. Take care.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
And do something for you. Do something for you.
Yeah.
Start a fund so we can donate to you, just for you. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I mean, I do have a Cash App, but thank you.
Okay.
All right. All right. So we have the Island Boy again. So is there any other questions that you have that I can answer, or any comments that you want to make about it?
Not really a question. Okay, let me just say just 10 seconds here to explain myself. I'm not from the America. I'm the Island Boy because I live in Nassau, Bahamas.
Okay.
And I'm watching this more from an outsider point of view, but I did graduate from law school. And one thing I want to point out is, and this was shocking, that Karmelo Anthony didn't, what we call it, take the stand.
Right.
And to me, it's really hard to explain self-defense if you can't explain why you were afraid and why you were in fear. So I want to more point out to the whole case itself. I actually like to say it this way: even if Carmelo Anthony was white, if you don't take the stand, the jury doesn't have your side of the story at all. So to me, that was just a big. Now, let me just preface by saying that I don't know whether that was his decision or his lawyer's decision, because I watched the video. They said there was a long lunch, and people were wondering if Carmelo was going to take a plea deal. But then after the long lunch, they announced like he's not going to take the stand. So I don't know whose decision it was. I personally believe it was the wrong decision, because in self-defense.
Well, I'm going to pause you real quick. What was interesting to me is that any case that I've saw on YouTube or attended myself, in the presence of the jury is when they ask the individual if they're going to take the stand. When we had that long break, we broke at 11. They told us to come back at 12:30. We went back at 12:30, and then we were waiting there in the halls, like not knowing what's going on, till 2:00. 2:00 comes, we go inside, the jury comes inside, and then the judge is like, the state, are you guys ready to go? Are you ready to proceed? And I'm like, it's the defense case. Like, why is he asking the state if they're ready to proceed? You know? And then the defense says, we rest our case. And then the state said, we rest our case. And then the judge said that they done and he's going to give them instruction and they're going to be sequestered. And I was like, well, aren't we supposed to hear him deny his ability to get on the stand? Like, isn't so that whole thing was weird, you know? But I agree with you. I think that all throughout this case, I did not think that the lawyer did enough to tip the scale. And I was telling people every single day, I said, my feeling on if it's gonna be remotely close to an acquittal is dependent on if Karmelo can explain his side of it. Like, I could put myself in his shoes, but looking at all of them people on the jury, they like, I don't know what's in their mind. I cannot say that they are people who don't like people, but they didn't look like they like us, you know? So even people who don't like us, sometimes you can get on the stand and speak for yourself and change and penetrate one of their minds. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he did not get on the stand and the scales were already tipped away in his away out of his favor based on how the evidence was coming in, I was like, this ain't good. But I never thought that it was going to be murder one, though. I thought
I thought murder two. I thought
it was going to be manslaughter.
The reason I didn't think manslaughter was because, see, certain things are very key. And what was key, of course, is the statement he made. They said before the stabbing happened was, it was something like, touch me again, you see what happens. Mm-hmm. That's very important because manslaughter has to mean I wasn't actually going for killing him. And, that's just, it's one of those things. You say that and it sounds like you're already planned, But I thought murder two personally, not murder one. Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, so that was interesting. Is there anything else you wanted to comment about or speak to?
No, not really. Thank you for having me. God bless.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna go to LC. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I want to know why the defense why did the defense not subpoena Hunter?
I don't know the answer to that, but I would guess that it was a risk. Number one, by the time that it got to the defense case in chief, several of the jurors were already not feeling the defense, right? They already had what looked like they made their mind up. You can tell that they were sympathetic to the Metcalfs, and they were not trying to hear anything that was going on as far as what the defense was saying. There was this one man that sat in the front, and he would, like, anytime that Carmelo's attorney would talk, he would kind of be looking like, annoyed. So
here's the problem I have with all of that, right? If you're going to defend somebody and they got their life on the line, you should be trying everything under the book. I'm sorry. There's no reason not to subpoena Hunter. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we gotta stop letting everybody come in our spaces and smiling our and play in our face. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, I've heard better TikTok attorneys than Mike Howard. Nothing about him had any fight in him at all. He could have set the stage up by just even using cardboard, human sized cardboard cutouts of Austin without even putting his face on there.
A,
You can
a live, like a reenactment of the
yeah,
size, proportion, all those things. I know what you mean.
would have put out ahead Carmelo come sit right on a chair so they can see what this looked like. And why did the defense not even point out what was said on the news about we approached them? You know? And I want to know the coach that started this by forcing them kids to leave the baseball dugout.
Right.
To me, Frisco is really showing you what they were about. When you think of remember the what's her name, Angela, the judge, the first judge that got all the threats.
Mm-hmm.
It showed me what type of city, in town it is, and it showed me how the black people in that area operate too. They act like that was just regular business. The feds should have been there as soon as that happened. A threat on a judge and nobody touched down. That was the test right there to see what they could get away with. And then we went running right into the oppressor's hands. And that long wait was them, as far as we know, they were back there playing Uno. Because he damn sure didn't act like he cared about a case. And if you're going to worry about the faces the jurors have and you feel like they already against you, what did you have to lose?
Hey, I'm with you when you're right.
I never play spades with a motherfucker excuse my language, but I never play spades with a person that ain't playing to win, that's worrying about what's in the other person's hand. Play to win. He did not play to win. And I do feel like it was a money grab. I think their whole thing was to grab their money, and now they're going to come back with some type of civil, and they got the picture showing Hunter when he left, and their own witness said that Austin is way bigger than Hunter. So that's why you needed to subpoena him, just so they could see the size.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I don't mean no harm. If they don't stop listening to people over there and getting them, you got to get somebody that's been where you've been, that got some fight in them, And I mean, I'm highly disappointed. This was sad to see this go down this way. And they played in our face, and to hear that Jeff was even telling people, playing games in the courtroom. This is crazy. It's no type of perjury. Him coaching the witnesses.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing was said about it in court. He wasn't like, because normally, like, if somebody has some behavior that isn't along the proper decorum, the judge will mention it. He never mentioned it. Like, it never was said, nothing. So
Reported by somebody in the courtroom saying that the judge really couldn't see where Jeff was sitting. And I'm saying to people, y'all don't understand that that's the whole point of why he probably angled himself the way he did. They had a year to plan all of this. And as soon as I heard that the defense rested, I said, hold on. This dude think this a game. So I'm gonna tell you, me personally, it would have been me and my son going together.
yeah,
Because I can't just sit back and let that happen. It should have been some contempts. It should have been people that's in the courtroom saying, you don't see it when they over there, he's coaching them.
yeah.
It's like we gotta stop making these rules and laws.
Like, there was hardly any objections, and I was like, well, maybe the judge ruled on everything, and maybe they can't already say certain stuff. I was baffled because normally you get really in the thick of it, and it's objection. You know what I mean? Like, they really battling it out. I could count on my hands how many times there was an objection from both sides.
Yeah, this is sad. But he did say that they spoke with Melo. So, we just gotta pray for the brother and keep boots on the ground. And I appreciate everything you're doing, Neek. I really
All right,
do.
thank you. I
Have a
appreciate
great evening.
that. All right,
All
you
right.
too. All right, Nikki, what's your thoughts? I see you in the back doing this, like, yeah.
Yes, he was saying a lot of things that I've been thinking and saying. But I mean, this to me, this helps with the appeal case. This to me, I know Dominique said it's a hard thing to prove ineffective counsel, but I think there is ample evidence of ineffective counsel. When you talk about the defense never called Hunter, we understand why the prosecution didn't, right? But why didn't defense call Hunter? He should have been subpoenaed. He was the closest witness and was a participant in the whole, melee. So he should have been called for sure by defense. I'm sorry, I had to write notes down because I'm old and I forget stuff. Um, uh,
That's right.
so defense never used a professional to examine the trajectory of the poking because when you think about it, Carmelo was much shorter and smaller in stature, and he was already sitting. Austin is much bigger, taller in stature, and was standing. So how did Carmelo's arm? Because your arms, if you hold them out to the side, that's the length of your body. So if that was already cut in half by Carmelo sitting down, this man, the boy standing over him, how did his arm reach to for a small poker like that he had to be able to go in and do what it did to eventually for this boy to lose his life? Something is not adding up in the fact that they kept trying to make it seem that Carmelo, sorry, that's my cat, was the aggressor. So something is not adding up with that. I feel like Austin had to be physically close to Carmelo, which means, in my opinion, he was possibly physically assaulting him at the moment that Carmelo did what he did to protect himself. We have to remember he was healing from an injury. He's already surrounded by people that are they're all friends. He only knows the one boy. And then going to that, what's his name? Eric, what was his name? The one that was supposed to be his friend. I
Eddie.
don't understand Eddie. I don't understand how defense didn't go in on this little boy because he definitely went down the timeline to show that they were friends more than what Eddie was trying to say they were. But my
Mm-hmm.
question is, Eddie said him and Austin were like brothers, but all of these intimate events that occurred with family and friends, well, there are plenty of pictures with Eddie and Carmelo. Where are the pictures of Austin at these intimate parties and events and whatnot? Because that would have been my follow up question. Well, was
Right,
Austin at
right.
any of these? Because you're
Like
saying
all
he's
of
your
yeah.
brother, but you're trying to deny your friendship with Carmelo. So that would have further proven that this little boy was up there and he was trained to lie on stand. Like there's no doubt in my mind that he was because he acted like he didn't even he wasn't at all those functions with Carmelo. He made it seem, oh, I don't remember that. How do you not remember these things? Let's stop it. So it's so many things that I feel like the defense should have done, should have asked, should have definitely had Hunter on the stand because it would have proven a sequence of all of these people that are supposed to be, on Austin's side, who are bold-faced lying, including the brother. Because it's so many things. Why didn't the defense bring up, that these boys, these twins, they had a reputation that preceded them, that they were bullies, but
Yeah,
they
but
were known bullies.
they can only get that information out in front of the jury if they have a witness to bring that information out. But I hear what you're saying. You like do it,
Yeah,
bring it out.
that's what I'm saying. The defense missed so many opportunities to show that Carmelo was not the aggressor. And then to go back to the poker itself, I'm from New York, but I live in the DFW and I have for over 20 years. What I don't understand is there is no way that people don't get it. People from this area have said it repeatedly. It is not illegal to carry that. It is not illegal. It is not illegal for an 18-year-old to carry a pew pew and conceal it. It's not illegal in the state of Texas. Okay, I definitely carry mine. I wish I would have known what you were dealing with, Nick, because I would have been at the courthouse with mine and been walking you in and out. because I'm so upset. I got on TikTok when I found, because I was really not trying to listen to too much of the case because it was physically affecting me. And so I just didn't want to listen. But once I saw a story, it was just a story on YouTube, and it showed that these people were using your likeness and then trying to say that that was you on the phone, like you were doing something illegal in the courthouse, telling someone on the phone what was going on. I was literally shaking because
Yeah,
I'm also paying
It's
attention.
infuriating, like the lengths that they go to lie
Mhm.
and the lengths that they
Yeah,
go to slander you. It's like I don't have that voice. Like I have a very distinctive voice. So
I said that in my TikTok.
it's like I have a very unique, distinctive
Mhm.
voice. Like
Yeah,
it's not a lot of people who sound like me. So the fact
no,
that you would boldly lie to the degree where you know that's not me, that's how they
yeah.
know that the racism and the hate is so embedded that they know it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They
And
just have to
that's the
say.
sick
Well, I mean,
part
they
about
learned it from their president. You just have to say it, and they don't care. Because I that's exactly what I said. My husband is from LA. I lived in LA. I lived in California, so I know the cadence there, and I know the cadence here, and in the DFW area, and that voice. And I've been watching you for years, so I was like, that is not me at all. Like I know her voice. I
that
know
ain't
the
me when I
cadence.
whisper. I'm like, I can't even that ain't even me talking low.
No,
But
not
they
at
knew that.
all. Not at
They
all.
knew that. They knew that.
They did
And
that.
what was
Yeah.
even more sick
You can't
was
sue for that. That's defamation.
what was even more sick was people were taking my video of me crying and they were titling it Carmelo Anthony's mother's reaction to the verdict.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like how sick can you
Yeah.
be?
But
It
that but
like
they want us to have sympathy for the Metcalf and for Austin. They're trying to make it seem like black people celebrating Austin's passing. No one is celebrating. It's sad all the way around. But what we're not going to do is, because of, this unfortunate situation that he lost his life, we're still not going to sugarcoat the truth, and that's what they don't want. And I like to juxtapose this case, and this is what I've been doing over on TikTok. I've been in lives discussing this and things like that. Is, these are the same people that said Carmelo is a red rummer. These are the same people and who are claiming that Chud the Builder did what he did in self-defense. So just so people have a clear, juxtaposition of what we're dealing with here. These are the people that say Chud the Builder, who has a history of going around intentionally antagonizing Black people, specifically Black people, using racial slurs to try to rage bait them. Now, they keep saying that those are just words, but no, we know historically those words are tied to actual physical violence against Black people in this country. But
yeah,
they'll say that and they'll say, well, it's just words. But if it's just, why is this man walking up to Black people, recording them, trying to rage bait them, and then he's pulling out and brandishing weapons?
right.
So the fact that he was in a courthouse and left the courthouse and was in the courthouse, the yard of the courthouse, that means he had that on him in the courthouse, which he wasn't even supposed to have on him because he was already out on bond. So just oppose, they're saying that what he did was self-defense. When he says on his own stream while on the gurney, he says, they were pointing and laughing at me, so I walked
Yeah,
up to them. So again, it's showing they are the aggressor and the initiator. The witnesses that were there are saying, well, first of all, how did he have a weapon on him? He was in a courthouse, walks out of the courthouse, and immediately is able to brandish a weapon that he wasn't even supposed to have on him because he was on bond at the time. And according to Tennessee law, you cannot carry while you are on bond. So again, but
right.
these are the people that will say what he did in pew pewing Mr. Fox is self-defense, but he was the aggressor. But the same here with Carmelo. Carmelo, they're saying he did not commit self-defense. It was a red rum, But again, he wasn't the initiator or the aggressor. He wasn't the one who initiated the contact and the aggression. It was the brothers. So these are the kind of people, the mindset that we're dealing with. These people, they are unintelligent. At the very least, they are intellectually dishonest, right? They will
Yeah.
not tell the truth to save their lives. So I just wanted to say that those are just a few of my notes. I have so many
She said I
notes
got
about the things
extensive
that,
notes.
yeah, I know.
Well, hey,
But I'm just saying,
I'm probably gonna have more panels as more information come out. I'm gonna be definitely keeping up with the case. Anything that comes out, I don't know if I can get my hands on the appeal, as everything has been under a gag order, which is weird. But
weird.
I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna keep on it. But thank you so much. I'm gonna go to the
Oh,
next guest.
one more thing. I just want to say the thing that the gentleman said about the Metcalf father and how he was sitting, the judge wouldn't say anything. I just want people to understand the judge saw everything. The judge sees everything in the courtroom. The
And there's
reason why we
cameras
never said,
also.
yeah, they didn't want it on record. You see, you got to pay attention. They don't want certain things on record because that's something you can go back to and hold that judge accountable for. So they didn't want it on record. That judge saw everything that was being done, him coaching people and all the nonsense going on in the courtroom. He didn't do anything or say anything because it would have been on record. And then that would help with the appeal.
Yeah. All right.
And
Thank you.
we could get his license, his law license.
Okay,
All
thank you
right,
so
thank
much.
you.
And I'll probably come back to you because we got several people backstage. If you have more to say, you can just hang around in the backstage, and if there's time, I'll bring you back.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
all right, we're gonna go to Devin. But before we go to Devin, I see people on Facebook saying, I'm just not understanding. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't want to read this book that you wrote. If you have anything that you would like to say, I promise I will not be hostile. I will hear you out. I welcome you to click the link like everyone else and say what you got to say. You and the other woman that is commenting. Now, to Devin. Devin, you were there yesterday at the courthouse. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, so I couldn't get all the way in the courtroom. I had got to the courthouse probably about 5 o'clock, and the line was already extremely long. So I was probably like number 32 in line. So I was the next group of people to get in. Because they had it like kind of a first group of people to go in, and then a second group to wait and see who couldn't get in or whatever like that. So when I got there in the morning, um, it was kind of weird. I mean, the day before, I feel like the officers were kind of like laid back, kind of way more. I mean, it was a lot of police presence, but it wasn't as the officers weren't as tense. But when you showed up that morning, like when they were getting us in line and stuff, I don't know how it was because you were there the entire time, but they were very like strict and like firm with everybody. Like voices raised, like, hey, this is what we're doing, like, hey, get in line, straight up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was already kind of like a tense feeling as soon as you arrived in the morning. And so we go through the whole process, we're waiting. I guess everyone was saying from what I heard and what I read, that Mike actually had he looked like he looked more confident speaking on the day of the verdict than he had like the rest of I guess the entire trial, the 8 days prior. And so it was a little bit of hope, like people were filled with hope throughout the morning, even though the officers were already kind of strict, which it struck me off, but I don't know if it struck anybody else off. And then so they broke or whatever after closing arguments. And I mean, I live in Sherman, Texas, which is probably 20 minutes from McKinney. And all I did was go home and came back, and the verdict was ready. And that kind of blew my mind. So when I showed back up, verdict was ready. I basically ran to get back in the courtroom or get back in the courthouse because I stayed on the second floor while they read the verdict. And I mean, before it even hit the news, I mean, there was, a couple people running out the courtroom. Very emotional. So I kind of already knew what it was.
Yeah, what was
Yeah,
guilty?
it was guilty. And one lady, I didn't catch her name, a light-skinned lady, she had looked at me and she was like, yeah, he's guilty. He's guilty of first-degree murder. And me being local, it kind of just hit a little different because I mean that's my backyard. And I mean, I think everybody up there just kind of broke down. Like it was very emotional. Um, People were crying, wailing. I mean, it was very, very emotional. I actually took me a minute. I had to go sit down on the first floor and kind of like recuperate, get my thoughts back together. And then when you walked outside, it was chaos.
Yeah. I remember listening to I was watching somebody's stream because I was like, do I go? Do I not go? My mom is pleading with me, don't go, don't go. And then my other family members is like, don't go, don't go. And I called you and I was like, what's the atmosphere up there? And then I heard you overhearing you like talking to some guy. I couldn't see you on video, but I heard your voice. What was
Hmm.
going on? What was going on then? And I mean, I told you you didn't have to be on
Oh,
camera, but if you want to be on camera,
yeah. So no, I'm gonna stay off the camera today. But
okay.
so basically, the gentleman, I was over there standing next to the Black Panthers or whatever. We were over there conversating, just having a conversation about the case, about the verdict. The white gentleman who was seen on Fox in the stripes, the American shirt, the American flag shirt, he walks over there and to none of our knowledge, I don't think any of us had seen the altercation that was put on Fox News. We hadn't seen it. He walked over there and he was like, I just want to thank you guys. You guys are gonna make me famous. Make sure you watch Fox News. And we're all kind of looking around like, what is he talking about? Then he walks away with a little smirk, and I'm like, what do you mean watch Fox News? You know, had choice words. I let him know, watch Fox News. Like, man, look, you 97 years old. You finna have a heat stroke. You might not even make it to watch Fox News. Like, you're old, man. So we got into it, had a little altercation. He walks back laughing, and then I go over there and I'm watching the attorney do his live press conference. I think it might have been on Channel 8. But he was live, and so I'm listening to him talk, and the man circles around me again. I guess just trying to get close, just trying to antagonize. And I let him know, like, man, don't get too close. And as I said that, he and his buddy were like, what did you say? And I let him know, I'm not, listen, I let him know, don't get too close. You mind your business. And they kind of just, stayed over there in the corner, minded the business after I said that. But for the most part, it was really only one side doing the antagonizing.
And which side was that?
It was definitely not many of the Karmelo supporters. I
Because
mean, I feel like,
on the news, it shows Karmelo supporters causing ruckus, yelling, arguing,
oh
and
no,
you
that was
don't
not.
see people on the other side. You just
Yeah,
see
no, that was not the entirety
them.
of the situation.
So explain that since you were on the ground. So are you saying that the news are specifically just showing a reaction and
They're
not the
showing reactions to, yes, exactly, to what was happening. Yes.
okay, so
And I
explain
would
that.
say, honestly, I would think most of the antagonizers, well, I wouldn't say most of them, but I would say a majority, close to a majority of the antagonizers were probably paid people. They looked like they had no ties to the area. They didn't really care what was going on. Like, I've been being there my entire life. I mean, Collin County is growing a lot, but I've never seen any of these faces. They didn't look like locals to me. And so with that being said, I definitely think that a lot of them were kind of paid. And it was kind of weird that I mean, I would say there was a couple of sheriffs who were there to help. You see two people were arrested, but for the most of the part, the 2 days I was there, the sheriff were just watching everybody, go at it. And you would think at something, that high profile and that much stress and anxiety in the air, the sheriffs would have at least tried to, divide the two sides.
They weren't giving a damn.
They did not
They
care at
were
all.
giving protection to people who was
At
instigating.
all.
So like
Exactly.
that was crazy to me. Like that's when I got my
Exactly.
true Negro wake up call. Like I'm like,
Exactly. Yeah, I know you from California. Welcome to the South for real. Yeah.
yeah. And so if
Yeah.
y'all don't know, he was out there when the Black Panthers surrounded me. Did you see the picture? You was in the picture
Yeah, I
too.
did see it. I did see it. I reposted it.
Yeah, he was there. And then he was like, he's the voice that y'all heard when I said the guy just took a picture of me, and then he was like, you got 1,000 people taking your picture right now.
Yeah, he just made 1,001.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, you would definitely be protected. around as many as, there was too many of us out there for you not to be protected. You were gonna be fine.
Yeah. In the moment, it just was a lot. It
Oh,
just
very
was.
overwhelming.
It was, yeah, it was overwhelming. It was frustrating. I was sleep deprived. Then it's like if something pop off, y'all there, but the sheriffs, it was just like it was a
They
lot
had
of
their
emotion.
own thing going on.
Yeah, and then I told myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna engage with any white supremacists. I'm not going to say anything to them. So like when they were standing there, I got so like upset. And then when they were like tried to walk up and then y'all had like closed in, I was just like, I can't like y'all really doing like it was a lot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we had you though, for sure. You were good.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Yes, most definitely. But yeah, it was crazy to even be put in that situation. That the law enforcement, they were even told about the situation. That you had been being antagonized days before that, and that they should have at least been watching you coming out of the door, knowing the situation that was going on. Because it's not like the officers were not aware of the situation that was going on.
They didn't give a fuck. Like
They didn't.
she was going telling them that we trying to get her killed. So there's no proof of that. There's no evidence. Nobody's following her around.
But
It
the
just
goons
was,
who followed you around had a gun on his hip with a ski mask on.
but nobody's doing that to her.
At
But
all.
and
At
then
all.
when y'all went up to him, I don't even know what all he was saying. I know that the guy Ray went up to him and talked to him. I still got to see his stream, but
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it. It was just very heated in the moment.
yeah,
'Cause it was very intense. I mean, they really came out of nowhere, and it was weird because, like we said, especially the one with the ski mask, he didn't park in the parking lot. We saw him walk from the back of the courthouse. He walked from back there, like through that field that was back there.
mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
already a red flag.
that's what people were saying. They said that they got videos of them coming out of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but people thought I was being dramatic. They thought I was being weak. I'm just like, in that moment, it just was overstimulating. It was a lot going on. The realities of everything is just like, I don't know how to explain it.
I'm
But
definitely glad that you and Queen Sheba and other people like that were there to get the message out, because a lot of the stuff that I'm still seeing, and I was only in the courthouse, not even in the courtroom, but in the courthouse for 2 days, and I have a completely different story than everything I've seen online,
which
and
is, can
that's
you elaborate?
so, which is so crazy. I mean, from the testimonies to from the antagonizers to just the entire scene as a whole. It's completely
Mhm.
different from what was actually happening in the courthouse to what is being said online. It's
Yeah.
completely different.
And then
Completely different.
when we tell the truth, we're told that we're lying and it didn't happen. And it's like, it did happen and we're not lying, but
Exactly.
it's a lot. But I
Exactly.
just wanted
But I
you to
think
tell
that's
you.
kind of the reason. I think that's kind of the reason why they didn't want as much media in the courtroom. That's why it was such a shut down trial, like a locked in trial. Because it
Yeah.
was all kind of planned from the jump. And what really blows my mind is how fast he's already caught Chain. The fact that he's already been, sent to TDCJ is insane. Which I
Right.
kind of understand. Maybe it's for a safety reason. They didn't want, Collin County is kind of a smaller area. They didn't want to be, I guess, responsible for whatever was gonna erupt inside that jail. But the fact that he's already down in TDCJ is crazy, especially with the conditions that TDCJ, you know, that it is. As hot as it's going to be this summer, that's like my biggest worry. Is I think he will be very much protected if wherever he goes. I think our people will definitely like have him protected, but just the conditions of TDCJ is what worries me.
Mm-hmm.
And the conditions that the COs will put him in, knowing that he will be protected, and depending on the TDCJ that he goes to, the unit he goes to, how those COs feel.
Yeah. Well, we got to hurry up and get you through law school and complete it so we can have you represent
Yes,
some of these brothers, okay?
yes.
Well, thank
And
you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
no,
I
you
interrupted.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely hope, we're praying for him through this appeal process. Um, hopefully, he gets some good high quality names on there for his appeal, and we get that boy home.
Yeah. What were you think like what did you think was fair as far as a verdict?
As far as a verdict, I wouldn't even say that, all the evidence was even put on the table. What was put on the table, I would have understood the sudden passion. I understood if we were gonna do murder, I understood the sudden passion, but I really thought he was gonna either go home or manslaughter. I mean, based off the evidence, because I mean, in the court of law, all the burden is on the state, and I don't believe that the state proved anything. I think the entire trial was Carmelo trying to prove his innocence, and that's not how law works.
Yeah. And they played emotional game. Like they were
They
trying to
did.
tug on like their heartstrings, and they were like it was won by emotion. And
And
then
yeah.
strategically the Metcalfs are right there in eye shot of the jury, and it was all
Yeah. In
designed.
closing, I mean, when I don't know who it was that said, is it true that you can still have a relationship with your son while he's in jail? I think that was a big one. That was a big line.
Yeah.
That
Because
was a
basically
big
what
line.
happened was the mom, she didn't want her baby to go away. And
She
then
said, "Have mercy on me."
the prosecution said, well, something along the lines of, well, you can still have a relationship with him behind bars. They can't have a relationship with their kid at all, or something like that.
It's something like that, yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that one, yeah, that was a killer line right there. And I don't think that the defense had anything to rebuttal for that.
Yeah. And they said that they didn't call any other character witnesses for impact statements. It was only the
They did
mom.
not. Oh yeah, only the mom.
So it's like, what's that
Only the
about?
mom.
Like, did the judge say only the mom, or did the lawyer say only the, like, you know what I mean? Like that, it's so many questions about who's responsible for the way things went. Like, I need to know if the judge limited his impact statements or if the lawyer advised to only have the mom speak, because teachers, coaches, pastors, like, and community
I think the
activists,
defense
like,
team definitely needs to be looked into. I think ineffective counsel is definitely on the board.
yeah,
Definitely on the board. And, I'm not trying to diss Mike's work because Mike's record kind of speaks for itself. But, I mean, Toby was just a DA not too long ago. And I mean, if you know the history of Collin County and you know the history of DFW in general, I mean, we were in McKinney, Texas, which is named after Collin County in general is named after Colin McKinney, who was a slave owner. And the history goes so deep into racism. I mean, Melissa and Anna are the two towns right north of McKinney. Those are named after his kids. And then, you have the Texas State Fair, which was a KKK recruiting site. And then right down the road in Fort Worth, one of the only big recruiting sites that's still standing up is the big red barn right inside the middle of the Fort Worth stockyards. And then if you go to Fort Worth, you're gonna go to the stockyards, and that's the first thing you see is that big red barn. So the history of racism is just it's embedded in that area as much as you want to say it's not, it is. It's there. The road that we were on, Highway 75, goes through Freedmanstown. That's what got rid of Freedmanstown was
yeah,
Highway 75. And that's the exact road that we just had the trial off of. So you got to know where we at, know the history of it too, to know why it went like that. And there was also a case kind of similar in Grayson County, the county right north of Collin County. A man named of Corey Brown, who his case should have been self-defense too, but he was sentenced to 30 years. So when we got the verdict of the verdict of the guilty, I kind of already had a sense of that was going to be around the years of the sentence. Would it be around 30?
yeah. And you kind of got choked up about it, like
Yeah,
was it
because
like
that's
a
my
lot of
home.
high energy, like?
Cause I mean that I being from out there, I kind of went to a majority white school, and I've had a majority, some fights myself, and I can remember one fight. I walk in the locker room. Kid sucker punches me. They shut the door behind me, so the only other black kid in my grade, he couldn't get in. None of my other buddies could get in, and at that moment, if I would have had what Carmelo had, ain't no telling what would have happened. Luckily, I was able to get up on the kid, get my shots and get him in a chokehold. When I got him in a chokehold, it's like, you choke somebody because, you think it's a life or death situation. Like that's, a life or death situation when you get somebody in a chokehold. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, if I didn't stop in that moment, I could have been Carmelo.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really does, it really does hit different.
Yeah. I remember when you called and you was telling me like like how you felt, and I was like, do I come? Do I go? And I heard you.
Yeah.
I could tell how serious it was, and just how it impacted so many people. Like I had a friend who he only known about the case or getting into the case from me telling him like, hey friend, I'm about to go cover this case. But he started to watch my commentary, and he was so like upset, like heartbroken. Like I've never heard him get that choked up like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. It was very
It was like
heartbreaking.
gut wrenching for even him, just on the outside looking. He was not even in Texas, but just on the outside looking in.
Exactly.
Like it's like I was broken all today, like just from
Yes.
you and everything that you're going through, and then the case, and like
And,
the
I
lawyer.
was kind of thinking like I was one person away from being in the courtroom for the sentencing when they went down the list of who couldn't get in for the second part, or who could get in whatever. But I was thinking like I'm honestly kind of glad I was one person away and not in the courtroom, because I don't think I would have been able to stomach the verdict. Like I wouldn't have been able to stomach the moment. I think it would have really hit home too hard, and I probably would have ran out just like the others. Like it would have hit too hard.
Yeah. Well, all right, Devin, I'm gonna keep you on. If you want to drop down, you can.
All
But
right.
Vor has been waiting for a very long time. What's your thoughts, and what are you thinking? Am I saying it right, Vor?
VOR means victim of racism. If you study Neely Fuller Jr.'s work, that's what that means. And I advise all Black people to start reading his work as well as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's work, because what happened here is that we have been too lazy and too full of ourselves to really believe, and we've been training our children incorrectly. We don't want to talk about this issue. We want to run around, we want to run away from it. We want to go live amongst our open and hostile enemy and call that progress. Well, look what that got you when you live around your open and hostile enemy. Your enemy will show you better than they can tell you. Now, Black folks, yeah, you got a right to be upset about this, because yes, this could be your offspring. But that can be your offspring if you're sitting up there constantly telling them a fucking
Oh,
lie.
what? Wait, no, not too many curse words. I know you're getting passionate, but go ahead.
Sitting up there constantly lying in their face about this country being a good country. We've made so much progress. Yeah, I can see why you're crying, because you're looking at your enemy in the bench. Your enemy was on the bench. Your enemy was in the jury box. Your enemy was prosecuting. Hell, your enemy was defending your prosecution. And if you don't stop this bull crap, we're going to be back here again and again and again and again and again, crying the same old sad song. It's not fair. It's not fair because it's not white. Fair equals white. Say it with me. Fair equals white. Mr. Anthony's not white, so I didn't expect him to get a fair trial. Fair trials are for white people. White people control the economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, male-female relationships, and war. That's the military. That's the enforcement officers. That's the guns. Until we understand and stop this la-la land crap, we're going to be right back here where we were. Mr. Anthony was failed by his attempted parents because they did not tell him anything about white supremacy, racism. They did not tell him to go study his open and hostile enemy. They let them go live amongst their open and hostile enemy. And you expect something like that was going to happen? living in these.
Well, all right, I'm gonna jump in real quick. So his parents from the testimony came from Baton Rouge, and then they moved to um Collin County. What do you suggest a family who wants to relocate from maybe a crime place and go to
You're,
somewhere to?
you're already captured. You're in an open air prison. You can go from the ghetto. You're in jail.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, coming from Louisiana, Louisiana's on the Pollyannic code.
And so you're looking at.
So you definitely got to know where you're going and know the laws and know the history, know the people who are going to be judging you if you do end up messing up. You got to know that
You have to know that.
because the way they handle stuff in Baton Rouge, because I live in Baton Rouge too. And that's another reason why it hits home so hard because I live in Baton Rouge now. I go to Southern University. Is the way
And
the
you're
police handle stuff out here is way
probably
different than they handle stuff out there in
now,
Collin County. Is way different.
now, mind
You
you,
got to
sir.
know that.
Now, mind you, sir, the race soldiers in 1993 were under investigation for dressing up as imitation black people and selling drugs to them. That was their enforcement agency in Baton Rouge. See, we have to stop this pretending game or thinking we're going to give our kids a better life. We're sending our kids straight to jail, straight to hell. We're sending them straight there. Continue playing with these racist white supremacists, and we're going to have another Carmelo Anthony tomorrow morning. We got to get serious. Playtime is over. You got to get serious about your open and hostile enemy. You do not put your children in an environment where they can be harmed even worse. It's worse they get harmed in ghettos. Getting in Sundown,
Glitching.
a damn lynching. Yes, the appeals process is going to take a time, but as the father said on the interview that I
They
recently
saying
did,
they want to see your face for, or what do you say it was, victim? Okay, yeah, they wanted to see you.
so thank you. So looking at this is automatically going to be an appeal, but even his own dad said they were set up and that black lawyers told them to go get white attorneys. Listen to that for a moment. His own father said this. That's what flabbergasted me. So you black lawyers in Texas, y'all couldn't take.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think it was many black lawyers that told him to get it. I think it was one entity who was kind of pushing him to go get the white team. I'm not
And
gonna
who?
name the entity, but if you're from the area, you know who I'm talking about. It was one entity who was pushing them that way.
Well, another thing was about the advisor of the family. Some news came out about him having a very not so subtle past, and something about a 2-year-old baby was
All right,
under.
well, I don't want to. I don't know that to like. I'm gonna look
Now,
into it, but people put stuff in comments. I don't want to go into far
I
left field like that.
but this whole thing stinks. It smells to high heaven. That young man never got a correct trial. I'm never going to use the word fair. He did not get a correct trial. Any lawyer who's got some experience in this court system, it's not a justice system. Let's start using different words and not using the words they want us to use. This court is
Yeah, I don't know too much about the past, but I do know what you're talking about, and I don't know if you can judge a man by his past. I don't even know about that. About a man's past, Alec. I get what you're saying though. I know. Look, I'm with you. Trust me, brother. I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you. But I think that the entity you might be talking about, I think Pride might have got involved in some of this because there's definitely a lot of high name attorneys from DFW that wanted to help the kid that were trying to get on the case. But I think Pride kind of got involved in the situation.
and be honest with you, I think we stop this pussyfooting and name names because the gentleman
I don't want to. I don't want. I don't
because
want
the
to.
gentleman said it was the part of the the National Action Network, and we all know as of late these so-called FBAs have been coming at these so-called civil rights groups with aggression. If you guys are not doing anything for black people, you're not getting us justice, you're not getting us prosecutions, you're cutting back alley deals when race soldiers are shooting our children. We need to change here. And so it started to make me think that maybe as black individuals, we're on our own. We can't trust the one that look like us because he's a friend of me, and we can't trust the enemy that's shooting us
Are
in the
you
back.
are you pro black? Like, do you date black women exclusively, or are you like, do you date black women?
I do date black females, but I don't date black women because they're black. I date black females because I can relate to a black female as well as she can relate to me. But we got to get that mess in order too because it's a mess.
Are
It is.
you with a black woman right now?
I am.
Okay.
So, people can, people may disagree with me. That's fine. But we got to get serious here. This is a war we're under. We need to call it what it is. This is a war. It may not be with guns. It may not be with spears. It may not be with bullets and gun smoke, but it's a war that is being fought every single day. They are organized. The white collective is organized on a racist code of thought, speech, and action. We better get the same thing. We need to cut off these gossip channels that are doing nothing more than just distracting us. And we need to start
Well, you're
teaching our.
trying to cut me off, sir. I'm part of the gossip. I'm part of the news. I'm part of all of it.
The news is one thing. To inform our people constructively is one thing. But don't get on there with these jackals up here with News Nation and these corporate. These are the enemy. NBC, CBS, all of them are the enemy. They are they're for the white nation.
Nah, bro. No, what you just said, bro, is exactly right. We are on our own. Cause I'm gonna be honest, like, we ended up finding out, there was some people of color on the jury, but it's a lot of non-white people or non-black people of color who like to assimilate to white culture. They
And
like
they
to
assimilate.
assimilate to white culture to try to feel safe. And so what
Yeah,
we need to do, bro, we need to have our own system. That's kind of why Reconstruction failed, because we thought we could play that game and it was gonna be played fair. It's never been played fair. We learned that in Reconstruction. It's never been played fair. They don't have any plans of playing it fair. So we do have to look out for ourselves. We have to have our own system. And we have, it has to be a unity thing, man. It's got to be all of us together. And we can't let no sellouts or nothing like that ride along with us.
we got to clean
All
house.
right. So I added everybody.
Is it frozen?
Hello,
I
Neek.
can't hear. I think it's frozen.
Uh-oh. Yeah, this happened to me last night. I was trying to come up and
I
everything
think
just
it's
kind of glitched.
frozen. I don't know what
Hello,
to
Neek. Can you hear
do.
us?
And another thing I want to say here, folks, I think the churches need to be X'd out because what the churches have done is also made us comfortable
Ink is
in our
frozen.
suffering, made us comfortable and put us to sleep. And 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 that's the reason why I'm saying these
I
things, because I have to
don't
warn
know what happened.
black
Something happened
people
with the
about this.
internet,
Like, hey,
y'all.
we got to get it together here, and we got to start taking out the garbage. The marching is not cutting it anymore. Us protesting
I
ain't cutting
can't
it
hear
anymore.
nothing.
The only thing that I believe that works is a counter-racist code. Those in the chat may disagree. They may make fun of me. They may, do it. Y'all have it. But
What's a
All right.
okay? So
My
what's a
my
if you're not
internet had
taking
went
this
out, but
seriously,
Vor, wait.
then you are
Let
the
me. I
problem.
want to. Can he hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know if he can hear
I
me.
can hear
All right.
nothing.
All right. I added to the panel. We're gonna take three more minutes or so, to give everybody's
I can't
final
even come back
word.
out.
Something happened with my
Come back
service.
in.
We're
I
gonna
can't hear
start with
anybody.
Nicole. Can you hear me?
Mhm. Yeah. Me? Nikki?
No, it was Nicole. I think she said she couldn't hear anybody. Sharon, what's your thoughts?
hi, Nikki Knight. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I'm doing all right, just chilling. Okay, so some people already said what I was going to talk about because I seen tonight that interview with the mother and father. The mom was really trying to hold back her tears, but she was basically stating that you know Her son didn't have a fair trial, which I agree. I feel like America's built, it's not a United States of Republic. It's a corporation, and they run it like a corporation. And me personally feel like us as melanated, because me, I ain't black. I'm melanated. When we use that word black, they still try to keep us slaved and in bound and captive. And I feel like us as a people need to come back together in solidarity for real and stand together. But TMZ just posted Mello's mugshot, and it was just disheartening because his mugshot where they shaved all of his hair off, like looks like he had a little hair like a fade, but they
Mhm.
had shaved it all off. And I'm just like, what is going on here? What's going on with the prison system there? And just watching you and just how they try to intimidate you, torment you, that place is bleeding racism. It is. At first I used to say, oh, it's just systemic in laws, but there you really see it. Like they're not even hiding it anymore.
Yeah. To be
It's
fair,
just right in your face and say, what you gonna do about it?
most of
And
it was
it's really, really
brought on
sad.
by an individual.
But I do have a question. Um,
Oh, wait,
Dang, I
one
just lost
second.
my
One second. Can you hear me?
question.
Can you hear me?
What was
No,
it? I was gonna-
it is
I
very.
forgot that
That's.
fast.
I'm
Anyway, let
glad
me
you just
think
said that.
about
It's
it.
very much in your face racism in that area,
Oh
because
wait,
that's
she had to
one
come back.
thing
Can
I've
y'all hear me?
noticed compared
Yeah, I
like
can
from
hear
Baton
you.
Rouge, like going to school and then from living out there in Texas, is the racism in Texas. They're kind of like not scared. But mind you, neither are we. We gonna say something back too. But in Louisiana, the racism is very much like they kind of try to avoid us. They don't want to be around us. Like it really feel like 1950 out here. Like it's segregated. Like I gotta look for white people.
Yeah.
I don't be seeing them. But when I go home, it's like you can feel the tension when they don't like you. They let it be known. But trust me, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll let it be known too though. So don't we ain't scared. You seen how we came behind you, Neek.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Devin? I don't think they could hear me.
I can hear you.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go out. For those of y'all that can hear me, I'm gonna go out and come back in because I don't think the other people can hear me. So I'm gonna go out and come back in. Let me remove myself. Uh all right, can y'all hear me or no?
I can still hear you.
Devin, can you hear me?
But I couldn't hear that man with the L. I couldn't hear him the whole time. I could just hear you and Devin, but I couldn't hear the other gentleman.
Okay. Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. You go ahead and say what you wanted to say, and then we'll go to Jason.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me, and hello to everyone on the panel and in the chat. I first wanted to say, Meek, I'm so sorry
I
that you
can't hear her either.
experienced. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. The other lady was saying she couldn't hear me, so I'm not sure what's going on. I tried to get on last night and I was hoping you didn't think I was a troll because I was having technical difficulties. Um, but I stayed up extra late for this one. So thank you for covering, the case and whatnot. And it was really hurtful to see you in tears and be hurt the way you were.
Thank
I'm gonna make this quick. So I grew up in McKinney, born and raised, born in 1987. So you can imagine I'm about to be knocking on 40, shortly. Um, my parents actually gave me a pocket knife when I started my freshman year of high school. Now, granted, when they gave me this pocket knife to carry in my purse, it was made clear like this isn't something that you're going to pull out for show and tell. This isn't just to be pulling out willy nilly to say you got it. This is specifically if you feel in trouble, intimidated, to protect yourself, whatever. I can't remember the gentleman that you have on the panel. I can't remember his name, but he was saying that he, I think, used to live in Sherman or
Yes,
currently
ma'am. I'm
lives in
from
Sherman.
Sherman.
I
Okay,
think he's
yes.
from Sherman, but he's in school, but that's still his home. If you could
Right.
clarify, Devin, because I was like, they're gonna be confused if they
Exactly.
Devin. Okay,
Exactly. I'm from
Devin.
Sherman. I just go to school out there in Baton Rouge.
Okay. So Devin, about the small towns, Anna, Princeton, Melissa. Um,
Exactly. I went to school in
and
Whitesboro, Texas.
Okay, okay. And so I remember when Frisco was nothing but farmland and back roads before it started, being built up to what it is today. And Frisco was always deemed a prominent city within Collin County that everybody wanted to, move to, because if you had a little piece of change, that's kind of where you moved to, if you know what I mean. Um, Slowly but surely, of course, it was predominantly white. Some blacks started to kind of move, within Frisco, and then Indians started to take over. Which is funny now, they're protesting because they feel like Indians are trying to take over Frisco. And it's not just Frisco, it's Frisco, Salina, Prosper, all those little areas. Um, I grew up on what they call the east side of McKinney, which was predominantly Black and Hispanic. So my pocket knife that my parents, provided me with, it was for bullies, but it was also, to protect myself against maybe a stray dog after I got off the bus, to walk home or whatever. But I don't feel like justice was served in this case with this young boy. I don't. And as an adult, I know what it feels like, to even be bullied as an adult or be in a situation where you feel like, hey, I got to protect myself against this person. And, could I go down for murder because I decided to protect myself? So, it made me sick. It was hard to sleep last night. And, I just really hope for an appeal and that things go in the direction that we needed to go to get him home. But thank you for having me up.
All right, thank you. The last person that we're gonna have to talk is Jason Reels. After Jason Reels, if anybody has like a quick final thought, but we're gonna be wrapping up. Jason Reels, what is your thoughts?
Hello, sister. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing
I'm
well.
okay.
Now that I'm back in
Thanks for
Cali.
asking. Yeah, you did amazing work. I was watching you. Um, we-
Thank
we're, we, we we have to understand we're living in a system that is built by these people. They faces is on the money. We just don't get it. It doesn't matter what we call ourselves. Our skin color is a prison uniform to them. This skin color is a prison uniform. When they see you, they see a prisoner. They don't see anything else. The system was built for them. They can design it the way they want it to go. Just like that guy was able to get George Zimmerman off, that same lawyer, but he couldn't do it for Carmelo Anthony. You know why? Because the fix was in. The fix was in. He was there to safeguard that trial was going to go the way it's supposed to go. You're living in a system of WS. It's built for them. Your skin color is a prison uniform. You are a prisoner of war. And as soon as we understand that and start acting like that, we are soon or later be on to our true freedom. We can never get true freedom until we realize what we are. And this is not even just a country. This is a planet issue. No matter where you go, they are oppressing you no matter where you see Black people on this planet. They are in an oppressive situation. It doesn't matter if it's Jamaica, it doesn't matter if the Caribbean islands, doesn't matter if it's the continent, doesn't matter because they have a global system right up under our nose. That girl, Ukrainian, they got lit up by that Black man, whether it was on a bus or a train station. They have put a law in her name. She's not even a U.S. citizen because they don't have no borders. They have no borders. No matter where they go, they skin color is their citizenship. That why you think you don't never hear them getting trapped in a place or them not being able to go in where they want to go. They have a law for that Ukrainian woman on the books in the US. And they done that because why? Black folks too busy worrying about entertainment while they doing things right up under your nose. Because we don't worry about the important things. We worry about entertainment, just like all these fake celebrities. They're not rich. That's why they don't stand up for the cause. If they was really rich, they would be out there voicing their opinions. But they got to keep their mouth shut because they want to keep that money that's been loaned to them, that lifestyle that's been loaned to them. Because as soon as they get out of line, they're going to get that money back one way or another. But that's all I got to say. We have to understand where we are in this world. It's not just a country. This is a world problem. And it doesn't matter where you are on this planet. You are a prisoner.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming on. If there's anybody who has like a quick closing out statement that they want to say, you can. Also, shout out to my mod. That is my Cash App. If anybody wants to donate to my Cash App, I appreciate you guys so much. We're gonna go to Nikki. Go ahead.
I just want to reiterate again, they have, I think, my personal opinion, they have a great appeal case based on ineffective counsel. The very fact that this attorney is well known and has this phenomenal record of wins for even cases where his his client should have been found guilty, like Zimmerman. The fact that he lost this case and didn't, like, there was nothing, he did nothing. He didn't call witnesses, he didn't call experts, he didn't, there was a lot of things he didn't do, tells me it was a setup from the beginning, and it was a money grab from his family to snatch all that money and not give them a proper, give Carmelo a proper defense. Also, I think that you should need, there are a lot of people that are asking great questions and bringing up very important points that were not brought up in the hearing. And so I think it would be great too if you could, like, share these recordings of these lives and things with the family, even if it's via through, Dominique, but so that they will be prepared to bring up certain points with whatever new attorney they have for this appeal. Because I think a lot of people who have been, we're not experts or anything, but a lot of us are critical thinkers and we're intelligent. And so, and we have awareness, right? And shoot, even watching, true crime, you get to see and hear the kind of questions and the way court hearings and things go. I'm a true crime fan. I watch it every day. So I think that would be great too for you to pass on some of the points that we're bringing up, so that, because I feel like his family was not prepared either. Like they didn't even, it seems like they didn't even know to say, wait a minute, to this attorney, what are you doing? You're not defending our child. Like, what are you doing? I feel like they weren't even in a
Yeah.
position to question anything that this attorney was doing or not doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just think that those things are very important. I definitely think they have a case for ineffective counsel. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens once they find it, they file for the appeal and get the attorney and what attorney they're gonna get. Hopefully they'll get one that is
Justin
more
Moore.
understanding of how we think, but also brings up, yeah, historical stuff too, because that's important. We are living through historical things right now in this country.
Mm-hmm.
The white supremacy, the historic anti-black racism, all of that plays into this. As much as they try to separate race from this case, no, it was race, and it should be brought up in the appeal case how you were treated and how other people that were there were treated, and how the sheriffs and all of them were all ineffective in your protection. That should all be a part of the appeal case, because it shows a broader picture of how much there was, ineffective counsel, ineffective, the judge was ineffective in his duties, the prosecution was ineffective in his duties, down to the sheriff and the people in the court that was supposed to be there as security and protection. It shows, that they didn't do their job, their ineffectiveness. So it shows ineffectiveness throughout the whole entire situation. And I'll
Yeah.
land with that.
All right. Thank you so much, Nikki. Devin, is there anything else you want to close out with? Are you there?
Yeah, I mean, just as just to the black people in general, we spend $9 billion a year on our hair. We spend up to, I believe it's $70 billion on clothes and shoes and stuff a year. Just imagine if we put 5% of that into as much talk as we do in building our own system. We actually started the funds to build our own system with all that money. That's almost $80 billion on just our hair and our clothes and shoes. Imagine we just put 5% of that up to actually start building our own system and not just talking about it.
All right.
That's what I'm gonna end with.
All right. Thank you so much. And we're going to follow this case, you guys. But I knew that there were so many people who had something to say. They wanted something to say. As far as the allegations, I just got home. Y'all was putting stuff in the chat. I'm not sure. I don't want to just, I don't know. I got to look at things myself. So that's the only reason why I stopped, oh boy, because it's like, wait. I don't want to say anything that's inaccurate that I haven't verified. I need to verify these things first. I'm just now getting home. But I'm going to get a really good night's rest, a really good night's sleep tonight. I got my first good night's sleep last night. And we're going to get on to covering commentary. Like I said, I was in the documentary for the Hulu, The Cult of Nature Boy, and I still have not done a review on that. My plan was when I got to McKinney that I was going to do a review on The Cult of Nature Boy. Stuff did not happen how I thought. Like, I thought I was going to have time afterwards because I'm like, okay, I'm so close to the courthouse. I'm going to have time to like work on other things, and it just didn't go like that. So I'm definitely going to still catch up on some of the things that I missed and follow this case throughout. If the parents want to speak to me, I would love to hear from you guys. And even the jury. Now, I don't know if y'all racist or not, and hopefully y'all can prove me wrong. If there is any juror member that wants to speak out and speak from your POV of what you saw and what you think or how the discussions are, I would love to have a conversation with one of you guys. I know the easiest thing is to automatically go to like network TV, but I feel like it's independent media out here that can really get into the meat and potatoes, not in a hostile way, but get into the meat and potatoes to understand the verdict. So if there's any juror members that want to come up, because I know y'all peeping in the bushes, you know what I mean? Because if y'all wasn't peeping online, the prosecution wouldn't be addressing the video that the guy said about Karmelo being jumped if y'all wasn't peeping online. So I feel like, I want to know if some of the things that Miss Redhead put on there influenced some of the outcome. You guys thinking that people are targeting the family and all of this misinformation. I want to know. So definitely hit me up, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Peace.